Hi, welcome. Come and sit with us. Come as you are. It is time. It is time to tell her story, to tell the story of her body. It is time to tell her embodied story.
Thank you. Oh, I love that. Okay, so part of our intention with her embodied stories is that we are guided by the moon, and we will be sharing a recording on the full moons and on the new moons. So, Milena, tell us all about this upcoming full moon in Aquarius.
Well, I'll tell you some of it because if I tell you all of it, we'll stay here until tomorrow. So, well, one interesting thing about this moon is that we're going to have 2 full moons in Aquarius. So 24th of July, Saturday, and then the next one in August, 22nd of August. So it's interesting because it shows us how the energy of Aquarius is really staying with us, and these full moons will be working in harmony with each other. And it also tells us that whatever is starting to percolate, shift, come to our awareness at this moon will keep working, and it will intensify at the full moon in August. So the things we will start exploring today, it's like there may be some beginning, some shifting, some ideas and some questions that we may not have answers today, but as we stay with them, with this moon and then the next one, this process will continue.
Nice.
And the same is true for everyone's life, and how this energy will present itself individually for all of us. The thing that is important to remember with full moons is that full moon is it can feel, we sometimes say, oh, full moon is intense energy. And it is because it's the peak of the moon cycle. So the moon is the biggest, the fullest. And with that full illuminating light, it can shed some light to the things, processes that we may either need to complete or are completing, maybe some realizations about what I'm ready to let go of, what I'm ready to shed almost, because it's also full. So then the moon will be becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, and we may just be able to release that which no longer serves, that no longer is of use to us. So the same thing with this full moon. And Aquarius and the energy that will be sort of presenting itself is Aquarius really asking us to connect to yourself, to your unique expression of yourself, to how you are an individual, with your ideas, with your quirkiness, with your unique way of seeing the world. And also it invites us to see not just how I see myself here and now in my current life, but into the vision of my future self, my unfolding self, right? So it's really inviting us to see and to ask these questions, not just with, oh, this is where I'm at and I don't know the answer, therefore that must be it. It's really saying there might be more. And if you hold this question, if you hold this possibility of the unfolding you, the you that you may not know yet, there is a possibility of some shifting, of some almost like reinventing ourselves, because we all have ways of thinking of ourselves and the beliefs we hold. So Aquarius is really lending us a hand in saying, maybe I could, maybe I don't need that anymore. Maybe it's like something I could just let fall off. I might say, as we talk about some other things related to Aquarius, but this is what's coming up now, and I wonder if there's anything you want to add to this.
So yeah, so I'm just thinking about Aquarius and just some of what you're speaking to, the quirkiness. There's a kind of freedom in it, right? As you're speaking of, maybe I don't need this anymore. There's something that feels kind of freeing and an invitation to loosen up some of these, maybe these older structures, internal structures. I think we're definitely seeing this on a bigger scale in society, but in terms of our internal structures, what can we begin to begin to loosen up a little bit, begin to get a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more space around some of these older ways of being and knowing ourselves. And yeah, the thing that I would like to add is around Eris, who is a warrior archetype, and she's in Aries. And what I love about her energy is that she's the goddess of discord, which I love. And she's known as the female awakener. So if she is in Aries and we have this lovely full moon in Aquarius, it feels like this lovely energy that is really inviting us to be courageous and brave in beginning to ask these questions like, who am I really? Yeah. Who can I be? Who am I? Who am I? What can I shed so that I can really step into and embody the kind of fullest expression of myself?
Yeah. And as you're speaking, who am I really? I'm thinking, what a big question that is. Yeah, who am I? Right? And and interestingly, we are always say, just be yourself. Just be yourself, relax, be yourself. And I'm sure I know from my own experience, and I see people who come into our practices, right? This question is so hard to answer. And how do we know? Who am I really? And the really part is a really significant part here, because we often know ourselves through our roles we play in life, right? I'm a mother, I'm a woman, psychotherapist, I do this, I do that. We do different types of work. We know ourselves through these labels, these roles, or family roles. I'm the helper in the family, right? I'm the one who makes everyone laugh. We've got these I would say ways we've been conditioned to think of ourselves. And I'm thinking how often these ways we take as, this is me. And going back to Aquarius, Aquarius is saying, like, who are you really? Like, if you put these labels, put them aside, right? Who are you?
Yeah, so as you're speaking, right, I'm thinking about the idea that we are souls having a human experience. And you know how it's said that our souls express these essential qualities. These have these essential qualities like of awareness, of presence, of spaciousness, of wonder, of curiosity, and a strength and a healthy aggression, so and a will, right? So I know, I can move through the world and this is who I am, and I can be in relation to people and the environment and still hold my ground. Yeah, these lovely essential qualities that we come into the world with as babies. But then talking about the conditioning, right, as we become socialized, which begins instantly, because we have to also develop a, you know, strong enough ego to get through the world. Little by little, that conditioning begins to kind of dampen those essential, luminous, kind of enlivening qualities that we embody naturally, I would say. And so then as adults, as you're saying, we find ourselves coming into therapy and going, I just feel anxious, I feel constricted, I can't breathe properly, I feel stuck, I feel limited, I don't trust myself, I've got nothing to say, I'm not good enough. And somewhere often, I feel like there's a knowing that there is something else. And it's like that something else brings people into the work.
Yeah, and I was just looking at your body, like there's this fluidity. And you mentioned when we come to the world, and I'm thinking about babies, like when you have a baby, and when the baby is hungry or they express their needs, they know who they are in the moment. Right now, I'm the one who's hungry, I'm the one who's cold, I'm the one who's wet. And we don't have this self-definition, right? The structure. And as you said, we need this to survive in the world. We need this. We need to know how to operate. We need to know how to go through relationships, and yet these things become almost like fixations, these structures, right?
Yeah, they become fixed, they become rigid, they become hardened within the musculature and tissue of our body. Yeah, that's why I love that.
Yeah, it's like, notice your hands. It's like,
exactly, it's like that invitation to, oh, can I just get a little bit of space in here? Can I loosen up a little bit to see what else might need to emerge? What else might be present?
As you're speaking, I'm just getting a sense of loss, the loss of this knowing myself moment by moment, of this being, right, in the process, in this fluid process of engaging. And yeah, and there's something you said calls in us. There's something that makes us start questioning, start asking this question, like, who am I, right? And is all that I know it? Is there more? Could there be more?
It's like Clarissa Pinkola Estes, she talks about this little flickering ember, glow of an ember within us that has been so kind of put out, but yet there is still some flicker here that we can keep igniting with our attention, with our care, with an inquiry, with our awareness.
And now I'm thinking about how big this question is. Who am I really? And how could we start exploring without being paralyzed by just not having an answer, right? Who am I? I don't know. I do this, this, and that. That's how we've sort of learned to think of ourselves. But how do we start exploring this? There could be another possibility. There could be some space between the way I know myself, and I've known myself, learned to think of myself, and just holding that flicker that you mentioned, that there is this something that may feel at first little, that then can sort of, we can breathe air, almost like making the little fire go stronger, right? Until it gets really powerful, you get a flame, and there's that knowing in the flame.
So the question that comes to my mind as a question for self-inquiry, self-exploration, who have I needed to be in order to belong?
Cool.
Who have I needed to be in order to belong? It's a big one. It's a deep question. So we can meditate on this question, journal it. We can do a monologue exercise just on our own by recording on our phones or whatever, and just asking that question. And then for however long, longer than is comfortable. So we're stretching ourselves a little bit. We're right at the edge of our comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
And just answering the question and speaking into it, speaking into the question, answering it, and to keep going and to keep deepening in. Every time we come to that point of, oh yeah, this is what I had to do. So an example could be, if I'm doing this, who have I needed to be in order to belong? So I've had to be quiet. I've had to be good. I've had to be agreeable. I've had to be the caretaker. I've had to be self-sufficient. Yeah. I've had to be free of any needs.
So no needs.
No needs. Yes, I've had to have no needs, right? Let me think. I've had to be, I've had to be productive, right? So we could keep going on and deepening into this question, or maybe it's I had to be brilliant. I had to be really successful. I had to be a high achiever. I had to get the best grades. I had to be so outgoing and the best at everything, right? And so then we come to really get into the kind of reality of what we've had to do and how we've had to twist and bend ourselves in order to belong, to get the love that we needed, to attach, to fit into the tribe. And that can be just a place to start.
So the question, how have I needed to, say it again, the question.
Who I needed to be in order to belong.
Who have I needed to be in order to belong? Well, this question just links me directly to the sense of loss I felt a moment ago. That sense of we need to be something and somehow, right, in order to belong, to just be, whether it's a school, family, peers, now jobs, right? Sometimes friendships. Aquarius is also about friendships. So it's like, how do I change myself, tweak myself in order to fit in? But then we often left with a sense of not truly belonging, right? Because if I'm not myself, and if I don't even know how to check who I am, oh gosh, that can be so confusing, right? And we often would just push that away because it's just so. So I sort of, I have an idea. I want to ease us into it a little bit, into this almost like holding a possibility that even though I may not know who I am yet, or how do I get there, or how do I explore this, to just hold the possibility of, could there be more? Could there be more of me? Could I just hold the possibility that I could get to know myself? So let's do it. Shall we try? Yeah. So just get comfortable. Nothing you need to do really. It might be good to put your feet on the ground because Aquarius is ruling our feet, our legs. So to actually feel the feet, the thighs, our legs, calves, muscles. Just bring awareness to this grounding sense that connects us to the earth as well, to our ground. And from this place, either soften your eyes, just look down, or you may feel comfortable closing your eyes. And let's use the element of Aquarius, which is air and breath. And let's breathe some air and bring awareness into the spaces between the self that I know, the way I think of myself, the way I know myself, and however it is, see if you can soften the judgment of how you are, how you should be, whether you should know more, or just as you are, right? So the space between this, the knowing ourselves, and the other, the possibility that, oh, there could be more. There could be more to get to know in me. So see if you can, as you take a breath, almost imagine as if the air travels between these spaces. If there is some opening, or maybe some cracks even between these, the familiar and the one to be known. Yeah. And so just using the air and the awareness, inhaling some fresh energy, fresh breath into the spaces. And as you breathe out, see if you can release the expectation that you should know more, you should do something about this. No, just bring a little bit of air and awareness. And you don't have to do anything. Just let yourself experience this. So take a couple of more breaths. Notice whether they are expansive breaths with the spaces open up or maybe not. That in itself is an experience, and it may just show how, this conditioning has a grip on all of us. And it doesn't really help much to try to remove it forcefully. Then it grips even stronger. But the lighter we approach ourselves with this, then these structures may start falling off. Right? So start coming back to yourself, to the present. Well, I hope you've been with yourself and to the opening your eyes and just Yeah, holding that experience.
Thank you. I love that. I had the image of a feather, just a light feather touch. I bring that kind of quality to our attention, that lightness, and that just that the lightness of being present with our awareness, our attention, our curiosity. Just that in itself may support some of these structures to begin to loosen and free up a little bit.
And here's the movement again, right? I want to sing "Love is in the air." But that was the theme last time.
In the spirit, right, of loving ourselves.
Yes. And we're building, right? These themes and the moons, we build and we keep on building and
deepening. So thank you.
Thank you.
So more on the next new moon.
Yes, new moon in Leo.
Okay, exciting.
There'll be some play.
Great. So we'll see you then, right?
Yes, see you then. Come back.
Okay.
Let's play. Okay, bye, my love. Bye. Bye, everyone.